All right, fourth graders, today is chapter 12, lesson 2. If you're curious, and it's page 781 that we'll be doing right now. It won't take us long on this one. It's a pretty easy assignment that we're doing here. The amount of liquid a container can hold is its capacity. The liter, or L, and the milliliter, which is a small l, big L, are units of measurement for capacity in the metric system. I told you guys we don't really use the metric system here in the U.S., but it is definitely way easier to use once you learn it, because there's only two numbers you have to learn here. So as you can see here, a liter is a bottle this size can hold a liter. It looks like a 2-liter bottle, but it's not. A 2-liter bottle like you guys drink, it's 2 of these right here. And then a milliliter is, think of milli, is a really small unit, as you can see, that's in this little dropper. So all you're going to do today is you're just going to decide which one you should use for the unit. Decide whether 300 milliliters or 300 liters is the more reasonable estimate for this mug. Again, think about this. This is 1 liter. So 300 of these would fit in there, or would 300 of these little things here? Obviously, the bigger the best choice would be the 300 milliliters, of course, because 300 eyedroppers are reasonable, and that's way too much. So again, 300, and again, they use a small l, or small m, big L, to signify milliliters. All right, turn the page here. Example 2. Decide whether 600 milliliters or 600 liters is the more reasonable estimate for the capacity of the swimming pool. Again, think of the dropper. 600 little droppers would fill that up, or 600, and this is obviously a small pool, but it is very large. So if we're looking at large objects, we're obviously going to be looking at the liters, and then smaller things, we're going to be looking at the milliliters. So obviously this one right here would be 600 liters would be the most reasonable for that. Circle the more reasonable estimate for each of these. Again, this is a little water jug that you guys would normally drink out of. 1 milliliter, which would be like one little pipette, or 1 liter, which is like a bottle of water. So obviously you would say, well, a liter. This sink, 38 eyedropper full things, or 38 liters to fill up this real sink. 38 liters. In short demand, or in low demand, or not low demand, but low availability, liquid hand soap. Is it more reasonable to think that 220 little droppers would fit in here, or 220 big liter jugs would fit in here? Obviously, you'd say this. And if you look at a lot of your containers that you guys have, like say this right here, it has the standard units that we use here in the United States, ounces and pints, and then you have 500 milliliters. All right, 500 milliliters, which again, this is a half of a liter. So obviously you would say that, because 200, this is milliliters, this is 220 liters, so that would be the best choice. Looking at the independent practice now, we have a balloon. Would we put 150 liters of air in here? Or, again, 150 milliliters. If it's a small object, pick milliliters. It's a big object, you're going to pick liters. Baby food, small object, obviously. The smaller is the milliliters. Mouthwash, is this a big container? No. So it's not going to be 500 liters, it's going to be 500 milliliters. A ketchup bottle. I know you guys love ketchup, but come on, 700 liters, that's a lot of ketchup. We're going to pick the smaller unit. A teapot, again, 1 milliliter. Now I said you would pick the smaller unit, but then you got to look at it and say, well, 1 milliliters, that's like one of those little droppers full of whatever you're putting in this. Well, that's not going to be enough for that. But then you look at the 1 liter, like, oh, well, 1 liter could probably fit in there. And then we have an aquarium. Again, 30 milliliters. Think about this, has 500 milliliters. So 30 is not going to be a whole lot. So you'd have to be more reasonable, would say that one. Select 3 containers. Decide we're not going to do that one. You might have it on your homework that you need to do it, but we're not going to do it on this one here. You just go find 3 containers around your house and you write it and you write down what you think it has in it. But for the independent practice, we're not doing that. All right. For your homework, and these are just the little word problems that you could do. We'll do one of them here. Jenna said that she took 4 milliliters of medicine when she was sick. Is that reasonable? 4 of those little pipettes, 4 of these. Is that reasonable? Because if she did 4 liters, wouldn't that be a lot of medicine? Yeah. So yes, this is reasonable because 4 milliliters is smaller than 4 liters. 4 liters would probably kill you. So don't want to use those. Jonah said that he drank 3 liters of water after a soccer game. Is that reasonable? Again, you look at he drank 3 of these, or would he drink 3 of those little things? Obviously, the most reasonable, you'd say, yeah. You'd say, yes, that's reasonable because the opposite of what we just said above, 3 liters is more than, but not a lot. But not too much, because if you say 300 liters, well, that'd be way too much. But 3 liters is more than, but not too much than 3 milliliters. All right. So you guys can go ahead and get started. I told you this wasn't going to be a whole lot on here. It's a pretty easy assignment. Think about these up here. You're going to choose down here at the bottom. You're going to choose what's the most reasonable. Again, if it's small, you're going to want to look towards the milliliters, but make sure that milliliters is not too small. And then on the back, you draw lines to those. So it should be fairly easy for you to do on this one. Okay, guys? So that's lesson 2. See you again tomorrow, as long as I have enough views.